It is Monday, so you know what that means. It is Monday's market update. Yay. So you'll see me look back and forth like this. And that's because TikTok is still not on Riverside. And also, I want to go live on both. I've been trying to go more live on TikTok more. Um, but it takes a little bit more effort since I can't just do it through this platform of Riverside. If you guys are not aware of Riverside, I love them. I should be sponsored by them. Basically, you're able to go live on all platforms at the exact same time, delivering the same message. So that is why I am on. I'm on LinkedIn right now. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on my Facebook business page, and YouTube. I don't think I'm on, actually, I'm not on Instagram. For Instagram, you do have to constantly re up the streaming link. So just be mindful of that. All right, so if you guys are here, you're here for the market update. So let's get to it. And yes, I know I look a little different. A lot of people are like, something looks different about you. Yeah, my lashes are off. I'm re-putting them on today. So, also, guys, what is y'all's favorite fruit? Like, summertime, I just love fruit. And plus, I'm waiting on my chicken to get done and my vegetables. Jake wants to say hello. Here he is. Anytime I'm on the phone, anytime I'm on a Zoom, he finds his loudest toy. He finds a way to try to get my attention. So, with that being said, don't mind him when he comes in and out, all right? If you're new here, I am Kiera Ford, your real estate cheerleader, aka your favorite Dallas realtor. And on Mondays, we talk about what's going on in the Dallas Fort Worth market. So, last week, when the economist or just the economy was, Jake, we're not going outside. Relax. So last week numbers came out. So for inflation, actually inflation numbers were right where economists had predicted, which means they increase. Which is it's like good and bad. It's like a catch 20, I guess you could say, because no, we don't want inflation because now that makes everything more expensive. But then again, we do want inflation so we can maybe get the interest rates or just the Fed rates to come down, which would then trickle down into the mortgage rates to come down, which would give more opportunity for people to purchase a home or sell their home. So inflation did increase, which was expected. Next week on the 30th, they have another Fed meeting. They are not predicting that there will be any cuts. So if you're expecting for any, Fed cuts or interest rate cuts, I would not hold your breath because you might suffocate. They're really predicting that we will have two interest rate cuts or just two Fed cuts, which would then trickle down into the mortgage interest rates. And they're saying that that's going to happen in November and December. So people who want to purchase a house before the end of the year, it is still possible, but you need to get ready so you have to be ready so you don't have to get ready. So I am having a future homeowner brunch and a sip and sell. So I'm having two events. So if you're someone who is interested in selling your house, I'm having my event July 30th, which is a Wednesday. Hey, hey. Aw, thanks. Someone just said I was their favorite Dallas Cowboys cheerleader when I was on uh, DCC. Thank you. I appreciate it. So if you are someone who's wanting to sell their house, I am having an event called Sip and Sell. It's on Eventbrite right now. It's on July 30th from 12 to 2. And I'll have all these vendors. I have me and my mortgage partner, Tiff, will be with me. She'll help me kind of coordinate basically the sip and sell. So we'll talk about, is it a good time to sell? How you can use your equity to buy a second property. We'll also have an estate planner there so you can know how to position your assets. Also have an inspector and an appraiser and some other people. So make sure you guys sign up so you can show up. That's going to be a free piece of wealth of knowledge, and you get a complimentary wine tasting right afterwards. Then I have something that's called a future homeowner brunch. That's happening September 13th, and that's a Saturday as well. And that one's from 12 to 2 again. And so If you're someone who is thinking about buying but hasn't really taken the steps to get a roadmap, go ahead and sign up for that brunch. There'll be brunch, and there'll be every person who's a part of the process there to talk on their behalf. So credit, realtor, which is me. Then you have your lender. Then you have an inspector. You have an appraiser. You have, I have a guest host, which I always bring her out. She's awesome. I have a home warranty. I have home insurance. I have utilities. Like every person who's a part of the process that will come out and really explain and help you get a roadmap to get where you want to be, which is either a homeowner or selling your house to get into another home. All right, back to the market update. So on the 30th, there will be a Fed meeting. They're not predicting that anything will drop, any cuts will be made. Prices are starting to go up, and I think it's because of the tariffs. And if they haven't gone up, they will. And the reason why they want them to go up is so that we can hit, hey, cut it out. Jake is making so much noise. Matter of fact, let me let him out. 1 second, friends. Go ahead. Come outside. Use the restroom. There you go. All right. They say get a dog. Yeah. It's not as easy as people think. But okay, let me get back to the subject, which is, so prices are starting to go up. They haven't really gone up that much in our market, but they're predicted to go up. And then once they start going up because of tariffs, finally kind of like hitting, because I mean, this was back in March or April when that happened, but no one has really felt it just yet. But prices are about to start. You're going to start feeling it soon, which will then make inflation hit that 3%, which is where they want it to be before the feds really start to feel like they need to cut rates. So once again, it sucks that things will go up, but then it'll also make interest rates a little bit lower so people can get off the fence, because everyone's saying the reason why they're not, well, not everyone. Quite a few people are saying the reason they're not buying right now is because of interest rates are too high. But really, truth is, they're just not prepared, because this window of opportunity, I've gotten quite a few people under contract the last couple of weeks, and they're getting stellar deals. So when interest rates do go down, they'll still have a stellar deal. They'll have the house that they didn't have to compete for. They'll have equity, and then they'll just bring their interest rate down because they'll refinance. So I'm just the messenger, not, don't shoot the messenger. Just here to, let you know what's going on in the market. Also, last week, the job market, they kind of are saying no hire, no fire. We are starting to need more people to get jobs. Like, they're not hiring because they're not firing. But it's good that they're not firing, but they also need to hire. There's so many people out here who are unemployed. I feel so bad for everyone who had graduated last year. I'm sure they're having so much trouble getting into a job that they love. They've spent all this money, like student loans, and here they are. It's so challenging to find a job in your industry. And then on top of that, they want you to have experience, but they want you to have specific experience on, hold on, let me close this because I don't know. Okay, sorry, multitasking, dog mom life. But they want you to have specific experience before they want to hire you, which was not necessarily how it was back in my day. I sound like I'm old, but I'm not. But I mean, people I graduated in 2015, which was 10 years ago, guys. So the graduates that I have talked to as of late, they have been telling me that is like a reason why they're nervous to purchase, because of the job stability and job market not being as ideal. But then I've also heard from other people who are like thriving, getting promotions and just like loving it. So I do believe it depends on what market you're in, what industry you're in, of who's hiring and who's not. So that was another thing. And then also the next meeting, which is on the 30th, Trump is really wanting people to he's really wanting the feds to cut, hold on. decline. The Trump is really wanting the feds to cut. He's basically wanting feds to do like a hundred base points, which is basically like it would, if it came into the mortgage world, it'd be almost 1% down. So like right now we're at like a 6.5, 6.9, depending on your interest rate. So if they did that, it'd be almost like a 5.69 or 5.9, which I think everyone would flood the market. It would like stimulate the economy, which would be great, but I think that's when things would get crazy again. And that's why it's so important to be ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay? Just wanted to put that out there. Also, right now, average days on market is about 57 days. So if you're someone who's like, why is this house still on the market? It's still sitting. Like, is there something wrong with it? No. Days on market has just gone up. That's just kind of because we're in more inventory than we've ever had in the last 5 years. And so that is kind of where we're sitting, is that they're sitting on the market a little longer. Sellers are willing to, will and deal, but they're not trying to give their house away. Okay. So, buyer agents, make sure that you are coming and you're being realistic. Like, run comps. I had someone send me an offer and it was like significantly lower. And I was like, where did you find comps that would match this? They were like, yeah, they just wanted to see. And I'm like, well, the answer is no. They're not wanting to take that low ball of an offer. They could have just went with an investor. So just know everything is negotiable, but try not to insult people, because you always want it to be a win-win situation. Okay, that's if I'm being a buyer's agent or if I'm being a seller's agent. I'm always doing my best to make sure that it's a win-win situation for buyers and sellers. So just be mindful of that. Right now, I think that this is funny. So when we were in our our market of the moment class today, I do it every Monday. They were talking about sellers and agents. Like, when you price right, you get paid. So some people who are overpricing these listings, that's why you're sitting for longer than 57 days, which is average days on market. So just be mindful to actually be competitive in this market. Okay? That's competitive as a buyer and that's competitive as a seller. Let's see. So people, they did, so when they were looking at jobs too, they did notice that there is a 4% increase of just money making. So more people are making more money than they ever have. And so for prices to be down 1.7%, and then people are making 4% more, honestly, this is a good time to buy. I just think that it depends on your area. And if you can't buy in the area that you desire, go further out. You can find something that meets your budget. Don't get into a house and be house poor. Don't live above your means, because I'm telling you, it's stressful. You'll be like calling me to try to list your house because you feel like you're underwater. Okay? What else do I want to tell you guys about the market of the moment? Oh yeah, right now, average monthly payment is lower than it's ever been in the last 4 months. Not ever. Lower than it's ever been in the last 4 months. So let me emphasize on that last 4 months. So let's just be honest, things are going up. I already talked about inflation and how things are just not as cheap as they once were. When it comes to real estate, let me tell you this. The way you win is that you actually have something to trade. But if you don't have anything to trade, you're going to be the person that is renting and is like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like paying even more money for this same apartment. Well, you don't get to make the rules because you're not the owner. But see me, I get to make the rules. My condo, I was renting it out for actually a really good deal, and I went up $300 because the market allowed me to do that. But you can't do that unless you actually play all in. So I encourage you to get into the market, buy something that you can actually afford now, keep it for 5 to 7 years. People who are trying to move in 3 years and expect $50 to $70, $80,000 of equity, I'm not God, all right? most people who are going to be able to cash out and make some good money, you have had to have kept or keeping your home for at least 5 to 7 years, which is normal. Okay. Yeah. I have some clients who have only been in their house 2 years or 3 years. And when I run numbers for them, I'm letting them know, hey, like you might have to bring something to closing. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So just be mindful that, like, yes, there's more equity than there's ever been because more people have paid off. 50% of people have paid off their home. Their home is free and clear, which is beautiful. Like, I'm so proud. I want to be there. I want to be there one day. But that's not everybody. And if you just bought your house 2 years ago and the market is like adjusting this year, prices are fluctuating because real estate is very volatile, I would say hold on to it or rent it out because this wouldn't be the year to actually sell to try to get out a whole bunch of money because you might not, especially if you're in a new construction community. And that's what I've been finding is like people who are living in new construction communities who are trying to sell, they're having the hardest time. And I don't even like to use the word hard. They're having a challenging time because words matter. Make sure y'all know that. All right, let's see. Sellers. Oh, another thing too. One thing that's beautiful about sellers right now, I would say that sellers, you have an advantage. If you don't want to sell, you can just come off the market and go back into your house and live and stay in it for another 4 or 5 years and then decide to sell when it's a better market for you. But just be mindful that the market that you sell in is also the market that you buy in. So if you're buying and you're getting a great deal, yay! You might not sell and get the best deal either because usually if it's a good buy deal, it might not necessarily be a best sell deal. So you have to make sure it makes sense for you, okay? And when I was saying that sellers can come off the market, I was saying that because there is so much new construction inventory. This is why new construction is the best deal right now because they can't just go back and live in their home. There's interest accumulating on it on a daily basis, which means that they need to sell it. They're going to continue to make price cuts. And on average, the market has been making price cuts up to 5%. So if it's a new construction, they've probably been doing 5% every month, 5% every month, giving great incentives. So just know that if you're wanting to get a good deal when it comes to the buy side, new construction is going to be your best bet. And then on the sell side, leaders are repeaters. I'm here to repeat it again to you. It matters about pricing right. And it's not even about pricing. It is a beauty contest. I mean, right when people pull up, do they like your curve appeal? Okay. Also, it is a pricing war. Is your house priced where it needs to be for how it looks? Does the condition match the price? And if you're getting less than 2 to 3 showings a week, your home is most likely it's most likely overpriced. Because homes that are priced right, they're going quick. Like first weekend, first 2 or 3 days. So this is my encouragement once again is to really make sure that you're not just going off of, people who feel like they know how to price their home. They look at what Zillow told you that a home was priced for. Just because it was priced for something doesn't mean it's sold for something. And remember, Texas is a non-disclosed state, which means you don't know how much it actually sold for unless you've asked an agent that can disclose that information to you. Okay? Zillow does not have that information. They only have, when there's price cuts, they only have whatever that price is listed at. They don't actually tell you what the home sells for. Okay? Let me see. Is there anything else? I think that's it, guys. I would say that's it. So that's my market of the moment. So to sum all that up, buyers, the time is now. It is very much a sellers. It's very much a buyer's market. And I don't know how long it'll be a buyer's market, especially if they cut the interest rates like they're saying they're going to do in the fourth quarter, because I think everyone and their mom's going to jump in at the same time. So the time is now. You have no competition. If you can afford it now, get in, get the house you want, and refinance. It's that simple. Now, my sellers, come in close. I love you. I love you when I tell you this. We are not back in 2020 when you get to just make up whatever price you want to sell your house for. That's not how this market goes. This is also not a market that you test out the price. This is a market that you price at market or most likely below, so that you can get as many people in that house looking at it, wanting it, so you can drive up that supply and demand, okay? That is how you're going to be able to get as close to possible of what you want. You just got to be realistic, okay? In this market, we can't just shoot for the stars. If anybody wants to shoot for the stars, it's me. I love that, but I also want to get you paid so you can get to where you need to go. And some people need to sell. Some people are relocating. Some people, they inherited a home. I'm getting lots of those. Some people are getting a divorce, which is not fun. You got to split ways. Some people are having babies. The house is too small. And I actually had a client call me the other day, and he was like, send me the comps of my house because, I officially have 3 kids. When I first moved in here, I had 1. And I was like, man, y'all are being fruitful over there. So some people need to move. So if you're one of those sellers who need to move, make it make sense for you. Anyways, I trust that this has brought you value. If you guys have any questions, or you're someone who is like, hey, I need help, I want to sell, or hey, I need help, I want to do a roadmap of how to become a homeowner, schedule a strategy session or a seller's consultation or a buyer's consultation. I am here to help you. All right, I want to help you confidently invest in yourself through real estate. Anyways, I love you guys. And again, I'm Kira Ford, your real estate cheerleader, aka your favorite Dallas realtor. See you next Monday. Peace.